Hey everybody, thank you for coming back to my channel to watch another video with me. So ride with me on this one, right? I really need you guys to be as open-minded as possible and to really think in between the lines here, okay? Think outside of the box, whatever, however you want to put it. So this one is going to be for my entrepreneurs, right? So I'm going to start off with a story time right quick. So I have been putting myself out there. I've been networking and trying to talk to different people, getting advice and getting different, tips and tricks on like what I can do to grow my business, etc. And like maybe some knowledge that I need along the way. So I came across these two individuals that have like this entrepreneurship type business, right, where they pretty much bring people on. They have them complete a certain criteria of curriculum that they put together. They're both higher educational professors, and they're also Black. And so I went into it open-minded, of course. I'm like, okay, like this is going to be a great opportunity. I had a chance to kind of sit, hear out what they were doing and stuff like that. And then I believe I met with them again, and at first, our first meeting, I heard them out and stuff like that, and then I told them what I was doing. My next venture at that point was preparing for my pottery class, right? And it was going to be my first one. It was going to be, like just really like the first trial of everything. I didn't know what to expect. However, I prepared myself best as I could, right? So I had 24 spots open for my class, and 22 people came to my class, right? And at first, during our first meeting, I was like, yeah, this is my plan. I have this idea. I want people to meet up in the park. I want it to be, kind of focused on mental health and just being able to guide people to a new, guide people to a new healthy outlet, right? And so I'm telling them all this stuff, and I'm telling them what I'm doing with my business. And they're like, oh wow, that's such a great idea, we should incorporate it into X, Y, and Z, and you can do this and that, and maybe check out this. And they were giving me suggestions, right? And then after I told them the price of my class, which is $60, I told them, hey, I'm doing this class, it's gonna be $60, it's gonna be geared towards this crowd, blah blah blah. And then they proceeded to tell me, oh yeah, that's great. Like they feeded more ideas into me, and they were telling me, oh, planting little seeds and stuff like that. And then he proceeded to say, well, maybe you could, do more classes and stuff like that where the price isn't so high. So I had to really take a step back, and he said it very quickly. It was just kind of in the midst of, conversation switching from one topic to the next. And, but I pay attention. I'm a very observative listener. And by observative is like I feel, and I can also hear your inner thoughts that you don't say out loud. Like I'm telepathic. So like sometimes when people don't say things out loud, I can still hear it if they're thinking it or if they're considering saying it out. Like I hear it. I don't know how, I hear it. That's just me. And so when he said it, it was just like very like passive, like, oh yeah, like da da da. But then in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, I know how much I put into these classes. I know how much, stuff costs to operate and everything like that. I know how much I put into, my time, my time being offered in these services. I know what I can bring to the table. And for him, another Black man, to tell me to lower my price, that like really struck me. So anyways, the class happens, and I sell the 22 tickets out of 24. And I was really, really proud of myself. I'm like, whoa, like I really did that by myself. Like I prepared the whole class. I got everything together. Everyone said that they had a good time. I was able to, meet back up with the majority of the people, get their pieces back to them, and everybody like was happy with the outcome of everything. And so then I had the second meeting with them, and I was like, yeah, this is what I did. I sold out. My class was almost sold out. I wasn't expecting it, but this is how it went. I was telling them that my target was to at least have half of the people in the class, and I exceeded that, which really pushed me to want to do more, right? And so I report back with all the great news and everything like that. But like, that goes to show, like, you really have to be fucking careful who you fucking take advice from, because whole time God is telling you in your head, this is what you charge, this is what you charge, this is what you do, this is how you're gonna operate, this is who you need to talk to, this is where you need to go to get your supplies. And if you start listening to this and that mentor, yes, they're a mentor, yes, they might guide you to the right places, they might give you a gem that you may use or whatever, but they also might give you a couple gems that you can't use. Like, it's not going to be beneficial to you in your journey. So like, I always like to really like kind of like replay what people say to me, because it's always a feeling that they give me. It's not that I necessarily remember their exact words or anything, but it's the feeling that like it gave me. It's a vibration that came off to me as like, don't take that advice, or like, that's the vibration that I get of like, oh, this bitch is lying, like, stuff like that. And it's just like, a lot of people don't realize that like, you have to pay attention to those moments the most, because you might take their advice. And I'm actually doing an experiment. Right now. So I did 3 other classes. Granted, I think my marketing skills are kind of terrible. They are terrible. So like, I wasn't able to attract enough people to my next 3 classes that I had. I had 2 come to 1 class, and then there was 2 classes that I had to cancel because no one bought tickets. And so, and that was set at the same price. Now I'm going back and I am lowering the price by $10. So now my class is going to be $50. Same environment, same everything offered, as far as like, like me providing all the materials and things like that. But then, I'm going to see if like kind of pairing what I know now about marketing and stuff like that, along with everything else, I'm going to really see how this next class turns out. But it goes to show, you have to do your own experiments with things. You have to figure out what works for you and your business, because someone might give you not even the wrong advice. They might give you advice that still kind of counters what you need to get done on your mission. Right? So like, just how the guy is telling me, oh, you need to lower your price, blah, blah, blah. But then I have all these people coming to my class. I'm like, but do I really need to lower my price, or do I just need to keep reaching out to the people that can afford to like come to my class? Like, I don't know. That food for thought, because I don't like how even our own people, and this comes from family and stuff like that too, like, they think they're doing you a service by like telling you, oh, this is how I went about it, or, ooh, why is this reacting like this? Or, they kind of like feed in their like, they're kind of feeding you their perception of like failure, or like what failures could be. And nobody needs to be speaking against you or your fucking plans. So you just have to really know when to like wrap up conversations like that. Know not to take everybody's word for what they say, even if they are the expert, because you're an expert of your own. And like, you're like, with me being the age that I am and building the business that I'm going to have, and that it already is, I can't listen to people that don't have a business that's going to be as big as mine. Like, I can see where your business is, yes, now, and you're doing more than me currently, but my vision for my business goes beyond what you're even doing at 50. So like, I have to be careful of like the advice that I take from people, because my shit is going to be bigger than that. But we're going to let you think small-minded and thank you for your advice, but I'm going to go bigger than that. But I'm not going to tell you that, but thank you for your advice type shit. That's how we have to start moving. I don't know if, I know it made sense to somebody out there. I was about to say, I don't know if it did, but I know it did. I know this makes sense to somebody out there. I know it's going to click in somebody's head, and they're going to retract and remember some of the conversations that they've had with people that are trying to give them advice on where to go and how to be big and how to grow and do stuff with their business and stuff like that. But then it's just like, you just gave me something that's going to put me back. You just gave me advice that's going to put me back. Be careful, y'all. That's why I just analyze everything. You have to analyze the vibe. You have to analyze what they're not saying. You have to analyze the body language. Everything goes into communication. Every single aspect and factor plays into what the fuck people are really saying. And that's why I don't have many friends, because I know what y'all be saying. Even if I'm not talking to you directly, if I'm in the same presence as somebody, I can hear what they're saying. And it's just like, you got me fucked up because my ear is itching and I can hear you, bitch. Like, anyways. Thank you for coming back to my channel to watch another video with me. I really hope this enlightens somebody. I'm here to share what the fuck I know about the world. So this is what I got for y'all. Let's be open-minded about this. Let's think bigger. Let's go harder. You know, it is what it will be. Peace.